Hello. Mental health is a very important part of our lives. It is many things that keeps individual balanced, but it is something that a lot of people struggle with in today's society. One thing is that an unhealthy mind leads to an unhealthy body. There is a lot of stigma towards taking care of your mental health. And for example, if somebody were to ask, can I go see a psychiatrist to take care of to help with my anxiety? The usual response would be, what would you do that? You don't need that, which shames the person for even wanting to seek help so that they could feel better about themselves. But what's so interesting is that if somebody has a physical injury, they would take care of it right away. But with our mental health, a lot of people do not do that. More than half of people with mental illness don't receive help for their disorders. Often people avoid or delay seeking treatment due to concerns about being treated differently or fears of losing their jobs and livelihood. The more someone does not prioritize seeking help, the more it will backfire on them. The more you push your worries and fears and all that you're feeling to the side, convince yourself that there's nothing wrong, then one effect of that is burnout. Burnout is when basically it's running on fumes. You are so tired and exhausted, but you still have a lot of things to do on your plate and you still do it, which is very unhealthy because that is an unhealthy way of coping with stress, because the more energy you exert, even though you have nothing left, is really going to hurt you inside. The effects of not prioritizing your mental health leads to reduced hope, lower self-esteem, increased psychiatric symptoms. If it is not taken care of now, it will affect an individual in the long run. A 2017 study involving more than 200 more individuals with mental illness over a period of 2 years found that greater self-stigma associated with poor recovery from mental illness after 1 and 2 years. That means that taking care of your mental health is a very important thing, and it is not something that you can take lightly. Here's a visual aid to show you what mental health is like for others. Sometimes mental health can be happy. Sometimes it can be turbulent. Sometimes it can feel like you're doing one too many things at a time, or sometimes it feels like you're falling into a spiral of mental health. As you can see here, there's two different people, but their brains, the structure of their brains are different. One person's brain is correct, complete. That means they're probably feeling sound and confident with themselves. The other person's brain is jumbled, messy. That means they must be struggling somehow. So this is one way of what mental health is like for many people. But the more people stigmatize taking care of your mental health, the harder it is for others to seek treatment due to feeling judgment. See, everyone's lives are full of good habits and bad habits that influence our life. Bad habits will always bring you down. Have you ever heard the saying, old habits die hard? For example, some turn to drugs, alcohol, or other destructive habits to cope with trauma, because acknowledging the fact that what they went through is very, very hard, and it usually takes time. And even acknowledging it is very hurtful, because then they have to remember all the painful memories that they went through. Family and friends influence especially. What they tell us have a huge impact on how we perceive ourselves. For example, if your mom is always calling you ugly, it's easy to internalize their words and believe it. But it's not impossible to unlearn it. One thing that is also key is the environment you live in. A focus on the social factors that determine health is important. This category is often referred to as social detriments of health and includes factors of socioeconomic status, education, neighborhood, and physical environment. So if you live in a good neighborhood with good parents that raise you well and teach you and allow you to pursue education in school, then you'll grow up with the responsibility to do the same. If you grow up in a life opposite of that, your priorities may be a little bit different, but yet you still want to pursue what you want in your old life. But what is very important is to teach the next generation how to take care of themselves in a healthy way. Because one of the things that always get passed down, besides traditions and views and beliefs, is intergenerational family trauma. There's always habits and words that your parents have said to you, which you internalize, and then you unknowingly pass it on to your children without realizing it. Or realizing it allows you to take the first step into changing that, into breaking the cycle, and allowing yourself to truly take care of your mental health. It's always okay to not be okay. Thank you.